Do you know enough karate to walk in Kariobangi at night alone?
Anything you don't use deteriorate. I stopped practicing long time ago. So right now, at least my skills have only remained for basics.
Oh.
Yes, just for personal self-defense, but now that level.
So but what do you define as personal self-defense? Like, unaweza jitoa kwa ngori kama gani?
If you come anyhow, I can demonstrate a few skills on you.
And you have a very interesting story in karate.
Yes.
It runs in the family.
Yes.
Ungo anambia brother yako mnaweza piga naye story na ameweka mguu huko.
Ameweka mguu kwa hewa.
Hiyo sasa inamaanisha nini? Yani hatari.
Now the guy is very dangerous, but he became a pastor.
A pastor who knows karate.
Of course.
Anakemea shetani physically.
Well, the way you would put it. Now, this is what happened.
Yes.
My father was a Shotokan and Taekwondo coach.
Shotokan.
Yes. And Taekwondo coach.
Yes.
For many years, he trained a number of people. He participated in many tournaments here and there. So I would go watch how they do it. Then I go and implement a few in school.
Then basi hauna difference na sisi watu tulikuwa tunaona Van Damme na tunaenda kujaribu. So it's just that you are watching it live.
I was watching it live, sometimes practicing. So I got, I developed passion. I started doing it slowly by slowly. Sometimes whenever they're going for road work, I would do the little I could here and there. Yeah, that is how I developed the passion here and there.
Yes, and you have a very interesting bit on your dad. He passed on in the year 2000.
Yes, my dad was born in 1966. And he passed on in the year 2000. That was at age 34. He married when he was very young. That is why he gave birth to us. I'm the second born. And, my father was a disciplinarian. He never used to joke with us. Straight life like this. My father was very humorous. He used to make people, anywhere there is energy, he would make people laugh left, right, center. And very strict, humorous at the same time. My father was a man of people. He would have a lot of friends together and the rest. But my father was extremely intelligent. We were very creative. In fact, most, including plates, he made by himself.
Plates?
Yes, we used to have plates and cups he made by himself. Even the chairs he made by himself. You'd take, materials like, the bodies of a vehicle. And with that, you'd make so many things out of that.
So, as in, for the boots, alikuwa anatumia materials from gari kutengeneza kitchenware.
Yes.
So hii mchele mmekula kwa buti ya gari sana.
Yes, whichever way you can put it.
Yes.
And on the other side, probably to some extent, I think my father used the wisdom negatively.
Karate.
No, the creative aspect.
Yes.
My father would even make, the local guns.
The homemade guns.
The homemade guns.
Yes.
And I would see people coming home to buy them.
And where was this?
Where? That is my home.
As in, I'm trying to imagine where the market for homemade guns.
I don't know. I later realized these things. That is 20 years ago. I was very young still. I was still very young. Mm-hmm. So I would see these things. Then later on, I would now connect dots that this is what used to happen. To me, it was just normal things. Nothing. I would see those things here and I would. But now, later on, when he had died, sometimes when you are digging in the ground, sometimes you unearth some things that have a gun shape and you wonder, what are these things? Then now, connecting with the stories from those who are adult then, we now knew that he was doing such kind of things.
And that was in Nairobi, Ama?
No, that's the village. My father never stayed in Nairobi.
In the village, people need handmade guns. I
mean, you don't know what I can't understand.
Ah.
So, after that, so every now and again, he would be in battle with the police here and there. So he could spend some time in jail, come back, and the rest. So that is why we contacted the, tuberculosis.
Ah.
Yes, which later killed him. That's why he died early. But my father, had he channeled the wisdom the right way, he would have invented so many things. He would be someone very spectacular in this country. I believe so.
And I thought for a moment that his business, he must have been very creative, because if he was in the business of making handmade guns, and he was not caught in that line, what was he arrested for? What was he in jail for?
Okay, fine. Apart from that, he was using drugs, including bang and the rest.
Yes.
And sometimes he was even selling, and I participated in selling, very innocently.
In 2000, I'm assuming, at what age were you in the year 2000?
2000. I was in
class 3.
In the year 2000,
10 years
I was,
old.
around 10 actually. Yes, because I'm in the 3rd floor. So around 10. So I remember I used to be sent to go and sell bang. So what happened, I put on a uniform as a pupil going to school with a bag. And they put bang inside my bag. And I go, I knew the places I was taking, so I know the places. So I pass police very innocently, and they don't know what's happening. So I take the bank, take the money back. I didn't know what was happening.
You didn't know what you were carrying?
I knew what I was carrying. I knew it was wrong because I was told, I knew it was wrong. So I knew we are doing business. So it was because of that he was arrested. And for the guns, I remember sometime he was arrested because I think he sold to some people who went and did something wrong, and they traced it,
back to him.
Yeah, back to him, and he was arrested for that here and there.
And at the age of 10,
yes,
you've been given bank. For him to be arrested, when did ulishikwa na ukasema ni baba alikupea ama?
No, I think they was arrested. They used to bring them from Tanzania, so I think they were arrested on the way. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that is how it happened.
And did you try to sample the stock yourself?
Not sampling the stock,
yes,
but I physically tested bang when I was young. Because I remember they used to have many friends coming together and they're smoking it, and they used to praise it and develop all kinds of vocabularies, praising bang and the rest, the way it smells, all kinds of things. So I thought, no, it is in Luo, so you may not understand.
Sema will translate. I understand. Bana mimi wasiaya bana.
This thing is smelling. So I used to think, because
this smells like chicken.
Yeah, this smells like chicken, and of course kienyeji in this case.
Kienyeji chicken.
Yes. So I love my father, and I believe in him so much because number one thing, no one would beat my father. No one. Sometimes policemen would come. Many of them would beat hell out of them. And
police officers?
Of course, they would run away. Many times. He beat them many times. Not once, not twice. In our watching. Many times. The local chiefs could not dare come around our place. Even in school, teachers would not dare joke with us because they know if you touch the child of Okinyi, you are in danger.
So na wewe ulionja bangi because your father said it tastes
now
like
this
chicken.
Is how I tasted bangi.
Yes.
They used to smoke it and they would appear like they're enjoying life. They're scooping life with a spade. Yes. So I said, now this thing here must be something very, very serious. Of course, he would not allow me to touch it. But when he's not around and those guys come to take it, I would taste. I think I tasted like 2 times. And I felt like there's nothing completely.
Mara yako ya kwanza kuvuta bangi hii yenye watu wanasemanga wanatoa nguo, you felt nothing?
Never. Okay, to tell you the truth, personally, I have never been drunk since I was born. Whether with a cigarette, anything, I never experienced that level. And I made that decision because of my dad. Because of what I used to see my dad doing, I made up my mind. I will never, call it enjoyment, call it anything, I will never taste alcohol. Okay. I have tasted changa, but I've never tasted alcohol that is legal. I've never tasted. I made up my mind at a Nazarene law.
Yes. Like you swore never to take drugs, or you swore never to take legal drugs?
I swore never to take any. No, okay, fine. No, I'm getting you. Yes. Well, he's, of course, for the hospital, this is a must, when you are sick and the rest. Yes. But ya kulewesha watu, because of what I used to see my dad doing and the rest, I made up my mind, I will never take it. As my Nazarene law. Okay, it could be okay for someone else, but to me, I will not. I made up my mind. Anything wrong that he did, I don't want to do. Okay, and yes. Was that also what inspired your brother to move into priesthood, as a pastor himself? Yes.
Is there anyone, because what we say like father like son, is there anyone from your family who followed into your brother, in your father's footsteps?
Now, I have a lot of features for my dad.
Yes.
But the positive ones. Number one, the charisma, ability to make people laugh. That one. It is in me. My friends know, including you. Yes. That one is in me, to make people laugh, and the rest. I consider myself creative. Of course, when you watch my videos, or go to my YouTube channel, Kelly Inspiration, you see my videos, at least I see some sense of creativity. So, of course, it is the same creativity, but now I decided to use it differently. Okay? And so on and so forth. You know, even my physical appearance, people tell me I resemble my dad.
Yes.
My height and so on and so forth, including my fingers. So I can say I borrowed a number of things from him.
Yes.
Only that myself, my dad did not go to school.
Yes.
But I decided to go to school and I went up to university and the rest.
Yes.
So I have some features. My brother has a few features, but he ended up becoming pastor because he also made up his mind at some point that he wants to take a different bearing in life.
Okay, that's
Yes.
very important. And
Yes.
before I let you go,
Yes.
And you've done well for yourself, getting
Yes.
to a point that you have authored a book.
Yes.
Kelly has authored a book inaitwa Beyond the
Seeing
Obvious.
beyond the obvious.
Seeing beyond the obvious.
Yes.
My question would be,
Yes.
have you ever been curious to know beyond your father? Like what made him who he was?
Yes, I did that.
Okay.
Number one, I realized my father had very wrong company. Used to hang around with very dangerous people. Number two, my father started abusing drugs at tender age. While in primary school, he started abusing drugs.
Onja bank ukiwa class 3.
Wait,
So it's the
so
same
okay,
thing.
fine. Now, get yourself, you are conflicting yourself. You said onja and
Oh,
abuse.
yes,
Okay?
thank you.
Yes, I onjad, which is just, and you leave it that way, okay? So drugs, wrong association, and he dropped out of school. So that gave him time to do a lot of all kinds of negative things. My father never obeyed parents, from what I'm getting. Yes, my grandfather used to talk to him until he was left to do whatever he likes. So those are the information I used to get. So I decided to do completely opposite of what he did, to live a different life. But I like the disciplinary aspect. My father, were it not for my dad, I would have not lived a disciplined life. But he used to discipline us seriously. Even teach us how to eat. Tell us how to calm down whenever there are visitors. How to behave around, courtesy. How to greet people, how to talk to people. He would tell us with little education. Yes.
Okay, sawa sawa. Go look for Ezekiel Kelly's book inaitwa Seeing Beyond the Obvious. It's a perfect piece of inspiration and tulisema sio motivational speech. Transformational.
Exactly.
Asante sana Kelly.
We can tell them where to get. Of course, you can share the number.
Yes, yes, yes.
If you contact 0702 576943, a copy can be delivered to you wherever you are, even if you're out of the country. That is
okay.
it. Yes.
Asante sana. You can also check him out on YouTube, Kelly Inspiration. Some very, very insightful content there. Asante sana kwa kuja show yetu.
Thank you so much.
And it's always a pleasure
All right.
vibing with you.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Asante.
I'm very grateful to be here.